How to lose belly fat. So many people every single day reach out with the same question, not just to me, but to nutritionists all over the world. This is one of the most famous questions that we get all the time. How do I reduce belly fat? I work out every day, I sleep well, I eat organic food, I eat so-called superfoods and all of these things, and yet I can't lose my belly fat. And then we start finding excuses to live with that belly fat, blaming it on hormones, blaming it on a whole load of other things. But it's quite simple. When you accumulate fat in your belly, it's basically an imbalance in your body. Now, you may have belly fat and you may be extremely healthy. It's a different thing that the media and society tries to make belly fat look like an extremely bad thing. I can't tell you how many people I know who have belly fat and who are probably healthier than people who have a complete flat stomach or a six-pack. So excessive belly fat, as we all know, will create problems. It will create problems like fatty livers. It will create problems of, if you're carrying excess weight, it is going to weigh down on your spine one day. It's going to be extra weight on your knees, and you're going to have knee problems and pain. So it's always best to maintain the weight that suits your body type, the kind of work that you do, the kind of environment you live in, your culture, your genetics, all of these things together. But over the last couple of years, I've pulled together a couple of points as to what has worked successfully for us when it's come to helping people reduce their belly fat. And I've spoken about this a couple of times, and I'm going to go on repeating it over and over again, because these are the things that work. There is no magic pill on this planet that can burn your belly fat off you. There is no such thing as a fat burner, which if you consume will take care of your belly fat without serious consequences and side effects. Because if these things existed, belly fat wouldn't be a problem. Everyone would figure out some way to afford these pills and fat burners, take them, and everyone would be walking around having flat stomachs. So let's start with the first most important ingredient when it comes to losing belly fat. No matter how much you work out in the gym, how clean you eat, your sleep. There's a reason why nature puts us to sleep. There's a reason why our bodies automatically want to sleep. That is nature. You cannot challenge nature. You cannot compromise what the body needs the most. So if your body needs sleep, and we're not giving the human body sleep, you're compromising 50 to 60 trillion cells, over 500 to 1,000 different functions in the body, chemical, biological, physiological. All of these functions get disturbed and out of balance when we compromise what nature needs for us, which is sleep, recovery, rejuvenation, restoration of your cells. So much of intelligence and brilliance happens in the human body while we sleep, including the balance of hormones. The fat that you burn, I've said this many times before, it doesn't happen while you're working out. You could be standing in the gym and lifting heavy weights. You could be running on a treadmill, doing a run outside, doing all of your exercise. But the fat loss happens while you sleep, because fat just doesn't go anywhere. You just don't melt fat. You melt fat and you breathe it out. And that happens while you sleep. It's not going to happen in 2 hours of sleep or 3 hours of sleep or 4 hours of sleep or even 9 hours of undisturbed sleep. It's going to happen when your biological clock, your circadian rhythm of the body is in match with what your body requires. So sleeping one day at midnight, the second day at 9 o'clock in the night, the third day 11, having an erratic sleep schedule affects your biological clock. If it's affecting your biological clock, it is also affecting all of the other functions that we just spoke about. So make sure that sleep is on your priority list. And for many, many people, that is the only thing they need to change if they have everything running right for them to lose belly fat. The second point, over-exercising. So we all know that exercise is great for us, and then there are many of us who think that if we over-exercise, we'll burn our fat. And there are so many unqualified or ignorant nutritionists, doctors, trainers, all of them. And I say this because you don't learn this. But in order to get quick results, to seem good to everyone, people try to force the fat out of you, force the weight out of you by putting you through stupid fat diets and stupid exercise programs, which only injure you and make you fatter over time the moment you stop the program. You cannot over-exercise fat out of your body. Now, there's something called training intensely, which can definitely accelerate your fat burn. But when you train intensely, are you eating the right nutrition to support the intensity of your training? If you are over-exercising and under-eating, And most people will put you on this stupid algorithm to lose weight. Burn more calories and eat less food. It's not about eating less food. It's eating the right food and the right nutrients to support the kind of training you're doing. So we all know marathon runners are supposed to do carb loading in the night before they run. I can't tell you how many of them don't do it thinking that they'll put on weight. So they run a marathon with less carbs in their body, and that's why they run with these big pot bellies, and they have D3 deficiencies and bone pains and back pains and sciatica and all of these issues. So if you are training, you do not have to overtrain to lose weight. You got to train the right way. You see, it's not about what you can do. It's about what you should do. You may have the ability and the strength to lift very, very, very heavy weights. But should you be doing that for your body type, for your stress levels, for the amount of sleep that you get at night, for your hormones, for the amount of nutrition and protein that you're putting in your body? Because if you're over-exercising and eating less protein, guess what? You're only going to get fatter and eventually sicker as well. The third point, gone are the days when where you're supposed to be seen running 1 hour on a treadmill or doing that stupid old boring monotonous workout of 15 minutes on the cycle, 15 minutes on the treadmill, and 15 minutes on the elliptical. That doesn't work. It never worked. When you're looking at burning fat, all you need to do is build muscle. Now, I'm not talking about big buff muscle. I'm not talking about becoming a bodybuilder. I'm talking about body tone, increasing your muscle mass. When you increase your muscle mass, your fat percentage automatically drops. When you're doing 1 hour on that treadmill or that elliptical, after about 15 to 20 minutes, your heart, your lung, everything adjusts to that speed at which you're walking at. And it becomes useless for you. What you need to do to burn fat is challenge. I'm not saying walking on a treadmill or cycling is a bad exercise. It's great exercise. Anything that gets you to move is great for your heart capacity, your lung capacity. That's fantastic. I'm saying if your goal is to lose belly fat, that is the most useless workout that you could ever do. You need cardio, but you need interval. So if you want to run, you walk, run, walk, run, walk, run. So your heart rate goes up, comes down. It's called interval training. We've spoken about Tabata before. We talk about challenging your heart, getting your heart rate up, down, up, down. All of a sudden, your body has to start burning more fat. And it takes the excessive fat from your abdominal region and your midriff region. So you want to look at more interval training and you want to look at more weight training. Now, weight training doesn't mean you have to join a gym and lift weights. You can use your own body weight. You don't have to spend on memberships. You don't have to spend on equipment. You should be doing push-ups, squats, planks, pull-ups, all lunges. All of these are fantastic fat-burning exercises if you do it the right way, consistently, with the right amount of food to support what you do. The fourth point is under-eating. We know by now that people who go on 900 calorie diets, 1000 calorie diets, 1200 calorie diets will obviously lose maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe even 4 kilos of weight. And the moment they get off that diet, they put all the weight and more on. Because all you've done by under-eating is crippled your metabolic rate. You've crippled your metabolism. Your metabolism is that fire that keeps the fat burning in your body. Every time you have muscle tone, the more muscle you build, the more metabolic power you have. That fire to maintain your muscle in place, it's called muscle tone, constantly burns fat for energy. It constantly burns calorie for energy to keep that muscle in place. So you need to understand by starving yourself, you're crippling your metabolism. You're weakening your immune system. Your hair's going to fall. Your skin's going to look dull. All of these things. Okay? So do it the right way. It may take a little longer, but you want to get results which are going to be sustainable and not at the cost of your health, your immunity, your hair, your skin, and everything else. The fifth point is stress. We keep talking about this. There is a direct impact of chronic stress on your weight. The moment you're chronically stressed, your cortisol goes up. That's great for us, but cortisol should come down. If cortisol goes up and stays up, what's going to happen is there are other hormones that go out of whack. Your thyroxine comes down, your DHE comes down. Cortisol tells your body to store fat because it doesn't know how long your stressful period is going to last. So it's storing and storing and storing energy. You could be eating salads and fruits all day long, and you could still be putting on fat in your belly area if you have chronic stress. So just don't exercise your physical body. You want to look at exercising your mind, your meditation, your pranayama, your prayer, your hobbies, whatever it takes to get that stress reduced. And of course, there are two magic words that I talk about all the time: acceptance and letting go. The most easiest words, to use in this world. I can sit here and say, oh, accept a problem or let go. It's easy. We all know that. but it's the most difficult thing to do. So we got to practice acceptance and letting go. If you can accept and let go, there is nothing that can chronically stress you out. Think about it. Think about your worst problem. If you can accept it, or you can let it go truly from your heart without residual feelings. That comes with practice. That comes from meditation, looking inside of you to get the strength to let go and accept. Those are the magic pills when it comes to stress. The last point is your vitamin D3 and your hormonal imbalance. Sometimes people do everything that I'm telling them to do, but they have low vitamin D3. If you have low vitamin D3, remember D3 is not just a vitamin, it's a hormone. You need this hormone for the right communication in your cells to work to help you not put on that weight or help you lose weight. If you have low D3, you will struggle to lose belly fat. And likewise a hormonal balance if you have too much of estrogen and too less progesterone, if men have too less testosterone. So sometimes if you're struggling and doing everything I said, but you're still struggling to lose weight, it makes sense for you to do a blood test and check your hormonal balance. It's extremely important for you to know that because in most cases it becomes an obstacle towards weight loss. And the 7th point I'm adding just for fun, greed and discipline. Okay, most of us overeat. We just don't know when to zip it. Okay, we just think that we should go on and on eating because we take our life for granted, we take our health for granted. We think that, oh, I'll just go and train with my trainer tomorrow and I'll undo all my overeating of the previous night. So greed, let's accept it. When you overeat, you're greedy. We don't like to hear that. We don't like someone telling us that. But that's real and that's the truth. You don't have to overeat. It's not the end of the world. You can eat whatever you enjoyed eating a week later or even tomorrow. What's this whole concept of having to overeat at one meal like it's the last meal that you'll ever have? So, we got to get mindfulness injected into our life, live with a little bit of awareness because overeating is just disgusting. You tie it with greed, you tie it with gluttony. We got to question ourselves. It's not natural. It's unnatural. We shouldn't be doing this to our body. Your stomach's the size of your fist. Now, the next time you plan to overeat, it can expand. It can expand to a certain level. But just think of the destruction you do every time you overeat. And discipline. When it comes to most people have excuses. Oh, I did this. I can only do it for 5 days. Oh, I can't do this. All the negative affirmations in their mind. I can't. It's impossible. Oh, I'm not young enough. Oh, she's younger than me. That's why she has a flat belly. Oh, most women like to blame it on menopause, which is honestly the biggest myth ever. It's just a way of a pharmaceutical industry trying to sell you more of their hormone therapy, making you believe that if you balance your hormones, you lose all your belly fat. That does more destruction to you, by the way. If you need it, take it. If you don't, just focus on a disciplined lifestyle. Because if we look at the lifestyle of women hitting menopause today, what is also increased in their lifestyle is the amount of partying, the alcohol consumption, the late nights, all of this stuff, and the increase in sugar. Our parents probably didn't even go through menopause. They didn't even know when it happened. They just woke up one morning and found that they're not bleeding anymore. The spotting is stopped, the period's over, and it was graceful. So what's changed? What's different? Nothing but lifestyle. So you got to get discipline in your life. Discipline is the thread, that thin thread that passes through everything that we do every day. If you don't have discipline, you can have the best nutritionist, the best doctor, the best personal trainer, the most fancy memberships, organic food, your own cow, your own farm, blue tea, black tea, green tea, purple tea, all of that stuff. Without discipline, it's useless. You'll continue running in circles, living this chaotic life. So introspect on all of these points we've spoken about, and remember, don't go crazy into beating yourself into a flat tummy. You can look beautiful even if you have a little bit of belly fat. As long as you're happy in your mind and you don't care what people think about you, it really doesn't matter. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep.